These are the plaintiffs, Nicole and Scott Saunders. They say the defendants, their neighbors, were negligent because their unsecured trampoline blew into their gazebo, crushing it to pieces. Their unneighborly neighbors refused to pay, so they're suing them for the $327 they paid for their gazebo. These are the defendants, Angela and Lorenzo Hobbs. Angela says no way on God's green earth their trampoline flew over the fence and then landed on the plaintiff's gazebo. There were indeed high winds that day. Their trampoline blew into their fence, causing some damage, but did not damage the plaintiff's property. And shame on them for trying to imply it did so they could profit. They're accused of not being secure.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs say that their neighbor's unsecured trampoline blew into their yard and destroyed their gazebo. But the defendants claim their trampoline came nowhere near the plaintiff's gazebo, and they say they're being blamed for something that wasn't their fault. It's the case of we gotta bounce.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Saunders, you are suing your neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Hobbs, for $327, the price of a gazebo that, according to you, was destroyed in a storm thanks to their negligence. Talk to me. Who wants to tell me what happened?
I'll start off there, Judge. What happened is the morning in question, prior to the gazebo coming over, the storm woke us up. It was really windy. The news had told us that it was going to be about 60-mile-an-hour winds that evening. So I looked out and checked to make sure because the storm was so loud. I was checking the yard to make sure everything was still secure, and it was.
60-mile-an-hour winds is, that's pretty powerful.
Yes. And so as I laid back down, me and my wife heard a large crash against our home. So we both jump up, we run to the window to see what was going on. And Mr. and Mrs. Hobbs' trampoline was against our home, sitting on top of our gazebo.
Okay.
So my wife grabs the camera, takes a picture. I get dressed to go downstairs. As I'm coming down the stairs, I couldn't get out my back glass sliding glass door.
Wait. What you're describing is the trampoline is literally on your gazebo on your property, and it has crushed your gazebo. So all of the metal of the trampoline, it has gone through the air, been twisted, and the metal of the gazebo is crushed with it. And then what happened?
At that point, it's on there. Like, I have a picture of it. You can actually see the blue part of the trampoline on top of the gazebo.
Okay.
It wasn't until my husband went downstairs that we seen that it actually crashed it all the way down.
Okay.
So I went to the back glass sliding door, and at that time I could see that the weight of the gazebo had crushed down from the weight of the trampoline.
Right.
So I had to go around to the front to get around back because I couldn't get out of that door. In that meantime, the wind just picked up again, blowing the trampoline from off of our yard right there at the glass all the way back against the fence, and it was slamming in between the fence and our homes.
So the things, flying around in the air like Dorothy's house in The Wizard of Oz, and what happens?
Okay, that's when I go outside and see the damage. So it was really windy, so I came back in, and it was dark. So as soon as it got daylight, I texted Mr. Hobbs and told him what had happened. Explained to him that the trampoline landed up on our gazebo and crushed it. And I told him that it was still in our yard because it was on this side it was in our yard still. And I asked him how was we planning on getting that, back over to his property. And he alerted me that he was in a hospital and he wasn't doing well. So I told him that's fine. We'll handle it later.
And then what you did was you spoke with Mrs. Hobbs, right? Tell me how that went.
No.
Okay. You just made a face now, Miss Saunders. Why did you make that face? Apparently you guys don't get along, right?
No.
And why don't you get along?
I don't know.
Well, can't you trace it back to something?
Well,
usually people can trace it back to something.
I can say this started before Ms. Saunders was living here at home. Me and Mr. Hobbs are great neighbors. I mean, we get along. We look out for each other's property. He's a man of God. We get along great. Mrs. Hobbs, to be nice, I would say opposites attract. So she's a polar opposite of Mr. Hobbs. So I didn't approach her with the situation because the third day that my home was built first. 3 days after living here, Ms. Hobbs called the police because my son was parked in front of her mailbox. And Ms. Hobbs called the police at 7 o'clock in the morning to make him move the car which was parked in front of her mailbox.
Okay, well, that doesn't make for good neighbors. All right, so now you say that you have pictures of the trampoline on the gazebo. Is that the picture you wanted me to look at that shows that the trampoline is on the gazebo?
Yes.
Is that the best picture you have to show me that the trampoline is on the gazebo?
It was 4:45 in the morning, so it was very dark. And if you flash it, you're not going to, like with the flash on, you couldn't see anything.
So that blue trim going around.
I know what a trampoline is. What I got to guard against is that this is just the cover of the gazebo that got dragged over to where the trampoline was by the fence. So what part of this is your gazebo? Just the little thing on the bottom left-hand corner, just the fabric?
That is sitting on top of the gazebo.
No, that's your conclusion. And I got to get to the same conclusion, right? Because this isn't an act of God. If you don't secure your trampoline and it goes to their property and damages something, you are responsible. It's not the same as a tree that God put on there. That's what makes the tree the act of God, that it's a natural thing growing and then a natural thing blows it. But if you put equipment in your backyard and you know a storm is coming, you're supposed to secure the equipment with stakes or something or sandbags so that it dies. You're talking to a Florida girl, all right? I know my hurricanes and storms and winds. You're supposed to do that so it doesn't damage someone else's property, doesn't become a projectile. And in particular, a trampoline is like a parachute, right? Because the wind could come out. So I get that. But I'd really like to see some pictures of that trampoline on your gazebo. So let me ask you, Ms. Hobbs, did that storm wake you up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you ever look out to see what was happening and what the damage was while it was happening or no?
Yes, I looked out because it hit up against our gazebo, which we have a really nice gazebo that's mounted to our concrete of our patio. And it hit up against there, but I was trying to listen to see if I hear glass broken. But since it wasn't no glass broken, I wasn't going to stay in the window when a storm is out there.
Right.
So I just sit back and wait until that morning when it died down about probably like 5. I get up every morning like 5 o'clock. So I went to the pad downstairs like 5:30, 5:45, and I seen it up against my fence on our property. So I knew that me and my grandson, which is 10 years old, we went outside and we couldn't move because the trampoline was so heavy. So I called my son, Quincy, and I said, I'm on my way to the hospital to check on my husband. So could you come and get it off the fence? You have a husband
in the hospital, a storm wrecking your trampoline.
Yes.
And worst of everything you said, you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, yes.
You don't think that trampoline traveled to their gazebo, do you?
No, because there's no way it could have traveled, because if it was all the way at the end of our fence of our backyard, and if the wind would have put it up, it would have hit his shed that he has right there. It's not like the trampoline could go over top of the shed, then stop, and then say, oh, I just want to get up and go northbound, when the wind was blowing southbound. So the trampoline stopped and said, oops, I want to go northbound. And his patio was northbound, so it hit the patio is what he's telling us. So it got up and said, oops, I want to go westbound and come back over onto our fence. So if I got a flying trampoline, I'll probably, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay. Here's a picture of your gazebo. It is nighttime when you take that picture. Where's the trampoline?
But you can see the trampoline on the left-hand side of the picture.
I don't see the trampoline. I don't see. Stop.
Okay, there's other pictures.
Okay, so this picture doesn't show a trampoline, does it?
No,
okay.
It does not.
All right, that's why I need your help, because I ain't seeing what you're seeing. Here's your gazebo. Clearly the wind destroyed your gazebo. I have to know that it was the actual trampoline that destroyed it and not the wind. That the trampoline was a weapon in the wind, because that would be their fault for not anchoring it. So now I'm looking at your pictures taken from your bedroom, morning time. This one doesn't show. By this time, I think everybody agrees that the trampoline is at the fence, right? Where it's found and where all the pictures show it. So the real question is, do I have a picture of the trampoline on your gazebo, which you claim in your statement, you claim you have that. So that's really what I want to see.
The best picture, like I said, that we have is the one, which you didn't agree with at the time, is that the one that's on the
Oh, we're going to go back to it. And then we're going to look at the video too. So here is a picture of the trampoline, correct? And what it's doing is literally straddling both sides of their fence. Half of it's on your property, half of it's on theirs.
Right.
And it's like that.
As it blown back, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And everybody agrees this is where it ended up.
Yes.
And then when was this picture taken? After they moved it off of the fence?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And now, so this
And
is
you
a
see
good
down there
picture
all-
to show what it is that Mrs. Hobbs is arguing. So we know the trampoline was in the back, and then that goes flying, according to you. And this is what Ms. Hobbs was saying. It would have had to hit the shed that's on your property, this gray shed, and then it would have had to come towards the gazebo. I guess it could have sidestepped the shed and gone, I mean, who knows what, you know.
Where it actually came over, the fence is damaged there.
Oh, yeah,
It
I
didn't
know the
come on
fence
the
is
shed,
damaged.
It came on the left. That's what I'm saying. It flew over there is where it hit and came
So
over the
meaning
fence.
that it wouldn't have hit the shed. I hear what you're saying.
Yes,
then,
right.
right.
Yes.
Well,
it hit the fence.
and it wouldn't have hit the shed because we know that it hit the fence, and that so we know the best evidence of that is where the picture shows where it is. So I kind of agree with you on that and not Ms. Hobbs, but let's look at the video that you took.
Neighbor's trampoline flew from their property onto our canopy. It's hard to see. And the trampoline is right out our window.
Did you guys see a trampoline on your gazebo in that video?
Yes.
I'm going to play it again, and you show me where I'm supposed to see it because I don't see it. I see your screen, I see your window, I see your hand trembling, and I hear you talking. And that is the second video. That is not the first video. This is the first video where there's sheer panic in your voice. Let's hear the first video.
Oh my God. Is the trampoline like stuck on our house then?
Is the trampoline stuck on the house then, is what you say?
The difference in those videos.
I want to see proof of what you're saying. That's all I need. I need proof that that trampoline was on your gazebo. Because if your gazebo just ripped with the wind, you got to eat it the same way they got to eat their fence, and everybody's got to eat their own problem. If what happened instead is this, that you're showing me a picture where a piece of your gazebo is next to a piece of their trampoline, that could be a staged photo. This is what I do for a living. I was a criminal lawyer before I was a criminal judge, and now I'm a civil judge who listens to cases all day long, and I need to make sure that evidence isn't staged and fabricated, because that's part of my job. I have to be a critical thinker, and I have to look at this and say, is the proof there? Show me what picture or video you want me to look at that shows a trampoline on a gazebo like you keep saying.
Come back to the People's Court. Did the defendant's trampoline do the damage, or was it wind that destroyed the plaintiff's gazebo? Let's find out.
The first picture that you showed, that you can see the blue part of their trampoline, that is the picture that I took when we first realized what, because at first we didn't even know what it was. It's dark outside. We didn't even know what it was. The first picture is what I took. I took the picture, and then my husband went downstairs to see exactly what was going on. He couldn't get out our sliding glass door because by the time he got downstairs, it had the weight of the trampoline had already crumbled our gazebo to the ground.
And then the trampoline magically unraveled itself. Its metal tentacles that were mixed with your metal
Judge, did you
tentacles
hear the
unraveled
wind?
itself and then come out. Now, I understand, but that is what you're saying has happened. So it makes it just a little bit less believable. So I'm going to demand actual proof. You're standing there with a camera. Show me how any of those pictures show that the trampoline. The only one that shows it is where you got. Let's get that picture back up because we need to actually see that picture. So this is the only picture that you have that you say
that is the best picture. Because
the best picture would be from your window, right? Where you're looking at. Well, then why are you saying, why didn't you just pull back? Show me this picture pulled back where I can see that it's on your concrete. Because do I know where that is? All I know is that that's the trampoline, and that is a little portion of the thing. For all I know, you dragged it over there. Right, I know. For all I know, you dragged that over there. So all I need is for you to take a picture of a trampoline on a gazebo like you said you'd taken, because that's how you filed this case. And when I listen to the video and I hear you saying, while the storm is still happening, you are saying,
is the trampoline like stuck on our house then?
Is the trampoline stuck on the house then?
Right.
Yeah, that's what So it's lodged.
So it's lodged.
Yeah, it might just bring it right back.
It might just bring it right back. This is in the middle of the storm and you didn't see it. Well, you guys assume the trampoline did that. But in order to collect the $327 from Mr. and Mrs. Hobbs, you would have to prove that it did that. You have completely failed at proving it, and my verdict is for the Hobbs.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, we're taking a break. When we come back, Doug's in the hallway with the litigants, and Judge Millian is in chambers with her husband, John.
Well, the plaintiffs failed to prove their case. Let me ask you, what do you think this is going to do to your relationship with your neighbors?
Nothing.
Oh, but Mr. Hobbs and me are fine.
Those will be cool,
His wife
and
is still going to be
she's
still
evil.
the person that she's always been.
She's
She gets
evil.
along with no one in the neighborhood. So that's
Nobody
not
likes
gonna
her,
change
and I'm done.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Sorry you lost the case. Mr. and Ms. Hobbs, let me ask you, how do you feel about the outcome of this case? I'm sure you're happy. No kidding about that, right?
Well, you know, the truth is the truth, and the pictures show. And that's a new wife that he has over there. He was married before her, so she haven't even been over there that long. So it ain't even her house. She just moved in and married him. So I don't know where she come from with all these accusations. So what she talking about is irrelevant to me, because she done moved into a house where his kids at, where she don't even have no respect for nobody. So get your own place and then come and holler at me because you's a gold digger.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, a dispute will continue between these two parties. In any event, Harvey, what's your verdict on this?
So we've talked about this before, Doug, that photos and videos are critical in cases like this. And here, the photos and videos were inconclusive, and that's why the plaintiffs lost the case. So when you're in a situation like this, don't delay. If, for example, the trampoline comes over and hits the gazebo, take pictures of that immediately. If you wait and sit on your hands, you're going to lose the case.
Marilyn, what song always gets you out on the dance floor?
Ooh.
I would say any song,
Right,
frankly,
basically.
a waltz, polka.
Probably Shakira, Hips Don't Lie. I love that.
Yeah.
Anything by Pitbull.
Right.
Absolutely anything by Pitbull.
Right. You don't need much of an excuse.
No, I really don't. Funky Cold Medina. I don't know why that does it to me.
Bust out dancing right here.
Yeah.
If I started humming a song. So, yeah, and in fact, we had an epic party for your birthday this year where we used the space that was the studio for the past year at our house. They cleared everything out, and we just
everything was cleared from when they cleared the studio, and I said, wait, don't bring the furniture back yet. I got an idea. And everyone who came over was someone who had to prove that they were vaccinated.
That's right.
And they didn't even have to prove it because I knew beforehand who has and who hasn't. And frankly, I have done more for the cause than Dr. Fauci has.
You're right. And some people got vaccinated
they
for
got
that party.
vaccinated just to be able to come over to the house.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just so tired and wants to get back to normal.
That's right.
And I had 3 people who had refused to get vaccinated. And I said to them, all right, it's fine. I understand.
Yeah.
No problem, but you can't come because this is my theme.
Right.
That no one has to wear a mask when they're dancing.
Yeah, that was wonderful. It was a great party. As for me, well...
what gets you out on the dance floor, John? Me dragging you?
Dragging me?
Exactly.
You know how they have these people who are like influencers at clubs and parties who
Bar
get paid? They get paid to dance, right? Well, those people pay me to not dance. They go, look, we will pay you to just sit there and not dance. But there's a few songs I jump up and dance on.
Like what?
How about Dancing with Myself?
Oh, yeah, you do like that.
And let's see. Well, my college roommates would say Around and Around by Chuck Berry, as covered by the Rolling Stones, because I always would dance to it when they played it in the band.
Oh, that's good to know.
I don't think you even heard that song.